Super Paper Mario, the middle child of the Paper Mario series, and the one that truly started the change in the Paper Mario gameplay. Now, is that a good or a bad thing? You can guess what I think, judging by the title of the video. I truly think that this is 2D Mario at its finest, and as a Paper Mario game, it is still great because it retains a good story and original characters, something that Paper Mario fans love about the first two games in the series. So why don't we review 2007's Super Paper Mario? The gameplay! Mario games always put their gameplay front and center, so it seems appropriate for me to do the same in this review. This Paper Mario is the most different out of every entry in the whole series in terms of gameplay, and that is it is a 2D platformer with RPG elements such as leveling up and experience points. But this game has a trick up its sleeve that impacts the entire way the game is played. Mario's special ability to flip dimensions and change the perspective from 2D to 3D at will. This is the only game I know that actually does something like this, and it's just so great. I love being able to see the whole world in a different perspective at any time. Flipping dimensions is more than cosmetic, however. It's also how you get through a decent amount of platforming sections, and if you do it in specific areas, you can uncover secret goodies. Be careful though, because you can't stay in the third dimension forever. Mario will start to take damage after a little while. After all, sticking around in a dimension that's not your own isn't very safe.
Get the fuck out of here!
Mario isn't the only one on this adventure. There are 3 other playable characters. While they can't flip dimensions like Mario, they have their own abilities. The second playable character is Princess Toadstool herself. Peach can hide under her parasol by pressing down on the D-pad. This is a block maneuver that completely negates all damage, which, if you haven't guessed, is really broken. She can also cross large gaps by becoming Mary Poppins, i.e. using her parasol to fall slowly. Playing as Peach is playing the game on easy mode, which is funny because she's broken in her own game, Super Princess Peach. The third playable character is King Koopa, Lord Bowser. Bowser can breathe fire by pressing down on the D-pad. This is a very useful offensive tool that gets the job done. Bowser also does twice as much damage as the rest of the party because he's a big boy, so he usually one-shots most enemies, an attribute worthy of a big bad final boss. Bowser is also just really goofy and lovable in this game, like come on, Bowser's the best. The fourth and final playable character is the man in green, Luigi. You get Luigi in the party near the end of the game, and for a good reason. My man is fucking overpowered. He takes Jump Up Superstar to a whole new level.
It's time to jump.
His special ability is the Super Spring Jump. Charge it by holding down the D-pad and releasing it to have Luigi rocket into the air, dealing massive damage to enemies above him and the enemies he steps on after the fact. Luigi can practically hit enemies from anywhere, and my god is it amazing. Should probably go over the pixels now too, yeah? Makes sense. The pixels, they are beings that were made to assist the heroes. The first pixel you stumble across is Tippy. She's a very important character, so I'll talk about her when I get to the story. The pixels used in basic gameplay, however, are a lot less interesting. They talk once when you get them, and they never talk again. Thoru is the first you get in gameplay. With him, you can pick up certain objects and throw them. The same applies for enemies, so he's a pretty fun method of attacking. Pixel number 2 is Boomer. I shit you not, that is his name. He is self-explanatory. You place him down and he blows up. Nothing more to say about that. Slim allows the players to be invisible and invincible by turning. To be fair, they are paper, but at the same time, that's really fucking stupid. Thudley is the ground pound pixel. When you ground pound an enemy, they take double damage. So when Bowser ground pounds an enemy, you better believe that they are more than dead. There are only a few more to go over, trust me. Carrie is next. She is a platform that you can ride to go faster and float over water and spikes. Philippe can flip objects around. This ability's sole purpose is completing puzzles.
Listen to my puzzle!
But you can only dizzy enemies when it comes to combat. My favorite pixel is Kudge.
Shut up, bitch!
The hammer pixel. Why does Mario even need a pixel to use a hammer anyway? Like what? Last but not least is Dottie. With him, you can shrink down to sizes that rival that of even Ant Bully.
Look at the
top of his head.
Oh yeah, and there are 3 optional pixels, but we won't go over them until later, okay? They are optional.
I'm gonna beat your ass, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna beat your ass.
What the?
I'm gonna beat your ass.
Nope.
It's story time, people, so sit down. Now that I addressed the gameplay, let's go over the story. The game is natively called Mario's Story, after all. It all starts at the Mario Bros. House. Mario and Luigi are just having a conversation, and plan to visit Princess Peach until Toad comes screaming at their door. The princess has been captured once again. It's not a Mario game without that trope. Luigi suspects that it's gotta be Bowser. It's just gotta be Bowser. But little did they know that the truth was out of reach. So, the Mario Bros sneak into Bowser's castle through the front gate, cause the minions are dumbasses, looking for Peach. Bowser replied that he was actually about to raid their castle, but all was revealed until a certain figure showed up to give his regards. The man's name is Count Bleck, and he states that he's the chosen executor of the book, the Dark Prognosticus, the book of prophecies that end of all worlds. Bleck wants to initiate the prophecy. In order to do that, he needs the Chaos Heart. It is written in the Dark Prognosticus that the heart can only be conceived by the marriage of a monster king and a lovely princess. So Count Bleck knocks Mario out and takes everybody in the castle, including Luigi, to a different world where he could create the Chaos Heart to destroy all worlds.
I did it! I saved the world!
I'm joking! Stop! 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 Break! Stop!
Mario wakes up to someone calling his name. It's the butterfly pixel named Tippy. She takes Mario to a place called Flipside, so he can learn about the situation that the universe is truly in greater detail, from a sage named Merlin. Merlin tells Mario that the giant void in the sky is what's been causing this, and how it's going to cause the end. In the Light Prognosticus, it is written that the hero who has gathered the 8 pure hearts can rise to the task of stopping the void. So this is where the game starts. Mario's task of collecting the 8 pure hearts and defeating Count Bleck before the end of all worlds. Merlin kept one to give to the hero, so Mario gets a nice head start. The worlds! Oh yeah, this is the longest part of the review, kill me now. All of the worlds in this game have a blocky theme to them, and to this day I still don't know why the developers went with this motif. I can only assume they did this to make the world seem more out of the ordinary. I won't complain though because they do go with the pixels. Each chapter has 4 levels. The game is structured like this because again, it is trying to be like a Super Mario Bros. Game, which is fine because this game is 2D for the most part. But I would much prefer like how it is before, you know, like in the first 2 games. Yes, if you haven't guessed, I am the kind of Paper Mario fan that likes the first 3 games best. As I was saying, yes, the worlds are structured like a typical 2D Mario fashion. Just like in the games prior, this game has 8 chapters. Chapter 1 taking place in Line Land. This world starts out as a basic landscape, full of greenery, but as you venture more and more into the chapter, you find yourself in the middle of a desert, which has an ancient temple keeping the pure heart. On the way, Mario finds a town in which he gets the pixel through. There are 2 bosses in this chapter actually. The first boss is named Ochunks. He is one of Count Bleck's underlings whose duty is to stop the hero. Think of Heavy from Team Fortress 2, and bam, you got Ochunks. After an ass kicking, Ochunks farts away in embarrassment as Mario proceeds forward. The chapter boss is an ancient robotic dragon named Fractale, programmed to guard the pure heart until the hero arrived. Luckily, Mario is the hero, so Fractale was willing to let Mario proceed, until a strange man appeared in the scene. His name is Dimentio, and he is very mysterious. He seems to know more than he lets on, and his true intentions are not clear yet. But what we do know is that he messed with Fragtail's programming, and that's what starts this boss fight. After we defeat that dragon, we are greeted by the spirit of the sage, named Merluma, who gives Mario this pure heart. Before Mario heads over to Chapter 2, he learns that a certain woman fell from the sky, and is knocked out cold. After whipping up a spicy recipe and feeding it to her, she wakes up. Princess Peach is in the party now. Lone Valley is another natural area that Mario and Peach traveled to in order to reach Merly's mansion. On the way to Merly is where you get Boomer, which is very useful for the rest of the game. Now, Merly's mansion isn't Merly's when you get there, because it's taken over by Mimi, the third of Count Bleck's underlings. She disguises herself as a maid at first to not give any evil vibes. Once you break a certain vase, she gets pissed off and demands that you pay for it with rubies. Yes, this game has manual labor, but I went the scummy route and looked up the save code on the internet to get the amount of rubies needed quickly. Oh yeah, you also get the Pixel Slim here, and after you pay for the debt, she straight up explodes. But this is only the beginning of it. Mimi is one of the creepiest Mario characters in the franchise because of this one scene.
Wait a minute, what the hell?
Her transformation is weird, like really weird. Also, she's a shapeshifter. She made herself look like Merly, and we had to do a game show to figure out which one was the real one. After we inject this imposter, Merly gives us the pure heart. Chapter 3 takes place in a world entirely pixelated, the Bitlands. There's nothing much that happens here, other than a literal otaku gamer nerd taking Tippy, and Mario and Peach have to get her back. We get tips from a pixel named Barry. He is one of the optional pixels I talked vaguely about before. He won't join us until we get Tippy. Anyway, this chameleon is called Francis, and he took Tippy all the way to his fort. On the way to his fort, Mario and Peach encounter Bowser. Bowser is pissed off because we literally just destroyed his fort not too long ago, and he wants to fight Mario. After an obvious defeat, Mario and Peach try to negotiate with Bowser, convincing him to help them stop the void. There is another roadblock before Francis, however. It's that strange man again. It's that Dimentio. He says that he's the master of dimensions before he attempts to strike Mario and go down, but they kick his ass. There's a reoccurring theme here with these underlings. You can tell at this point though that he's not like Count Bleck's other underlings. He says to himself after the fight that he needs to make sure that they are strong enough to defeat Bleck. Who is this guy? We don't have time to figure out. We've got to get Tippy. So after a stroll through a nerd's castle and playing through a dating sim, yes, a dating sim, which is very funny by the way, I made Peach respond in bitchy ways. We get to fight Francis and kick his ass, getting Tippy back. But what of the pure heart? Well, Tippy created it, because of her increase in trust with Mario, of course. I guess everyone gets turned on after getting rescued, even butterflies.
You need to shut up.
Once you come back to the beginning of the chapter, you can recruit Barry. He can create a barrier around you for a short period of time. Chapter 4 takes place in outer space. Yeah, you heard that right. Literally outer space! The gang meet this little shit, and his name is Squirps. He doesn't say to them right away, but he's actually the Prince of Scorpia, an ancient kingdom. Squirps was tasked to escort the heroes when the time came, so he was put in a hibernation capsule to wait. After a mixture of shooting shit down and space platforming, we are led to the Woe Zone, a complicated maze that hides the pure heart. Chapter 4 houses my personal favorite boss fight in the entire Paper Mario franchise. Yes, Mr. L, the Green Thunder. Now, who is this man? You 100% are asking yourself. Well, let me give you an answer. Once the Chaos Heart was created, everyone was sent to Count Bleck's castle. Peach and Bowser were able to escape the castle, but Luigi didn't. Him and most of Bowser's minions were mind-controlled by Count Bleck's right-hand woman, Nastasia. So, the man before you right now is Luigi. Without me saying it, it would have been impossible for you to realize that it was Luigi. After a fun little fight sequence, Mr. L decides to bring out the big guns. Literally. He made a robot called Brobot, and with the help of Squirps, the party shoots down the robot, and Luigi makes a run for it, completing Chapter 4. Land of the Cragnons is Chapter 5, and it goes for a more prehistoric motif. But that doesn't stop the game from having the cavemen say words like bruh. Yes, they're cavemen, and they are currently in a conflict with beings called Florosapiens. The Cragnons have been polluting the water that the Florosapiens drink. In return, the Florosapiens have been kidnapping the Cragnons, making them slaves. That's a bit overkill if you ask me. The Florosapiens leader is also the one that has the pure heart. But there is another roadblock again. It's Ochunks and Dementio. Dementio sends the party and Ochunks to the same dimension that he did when the party fought him. But the outcome remains the same, Ochunks' defeat. He has a plan B though. Later in the chapter, Dementio puts a Florosprout on Ochunks, making him even stronger, and giving him more attack patterns. But, like I've said before, there's a theme with fighting these underlings. Now, after taking that little detour, Mario and Co. get to King Crocus. He is supposed to give the heroes the pure heart peacefully, but apparently his dumbass thinks that slavery and beauty is more important. So we kick his ass and take the pure heart. But not before having the Cragnons and the Florosapiens work their differences out. Before I go into chapter 6, I went ahead and got Piccolo, the second optional pixel. You get her through a long annoying fetch quest to get porn. What? To this day, this pixel sucks ass. All she does is change the sound effects to the classic Mario Bros. And sound effects that cure status elements with music. Chapter 6 takes place in Canada. I say this because all the NPCs look like the Canadians from South Park. Like, come on, man, you cannot say otherwise. Jokes aside, this is themed off of Samurai. The king has the pure heart, but he'll only give it to us once we defeat all 100 of his samurais. That son of a bitch! Ironically, this is the shortest chapter in the game, because after chapter 6-1, the void becomes noticeably larger in this area. Time is running short for this world. That is why Mimi shows back up, to stall the heroes for enough time for the void to consume the world and everything in it. The heroes somehow ended up back at Flipside. A little bruised, but they're fine. Tippy suggests that they should head back into the door, and was shown may be shocking. The world was completely lifeless. Everyone and everything has been completely erased from existence. Except for one thing. The damaged pure heart that the heroes go ahead and grab. Not before the boy Mr. O jumps in and snags it from them. He has also come prepared for a fight with his robot L-Type. Not until the gang destroy that robot. Jeez, Mario, Peach, and Bowser are certainly not fucking around. They just don't lose. Wink, wink. Luigi is a broken man at this point. He said that he's a disgrace and should never go back to Count Blick. So what Dementio does is kill him. Yep, you heard that right. Dementio killed Mr. L. He does the same thing to Mario and his co. This is not a normal Mario game by any means. Alright, so there's something that I should talk about before I go over what happens next. The hub world is called Flipside, but there's another dimension, and that dimension exists a Flopside, the exact opposite place. Everyone and everything is mirrored. When you first enter the place, you are greeted by Merlin's opposite. I won't say his name because I don't want to embarrass myself. I can't pronounce it properly. But yes, you need to know that this place exists because, spoiler alert, this is how the group gets to Count Bleck's castle. The game resumes with Mario waking up in the underwear. This is the Mario Universe's version of hell. There is no way to go but forward at this point. He's got to figure out what to do next since he's all alone. During gameplay, Mario finds a girl talking in a strange accent. He shrugs it off and heads for Queen Jade's, the queen of the underwear. She will decide his fate. Mario shows her the damaged pure heart and she freaks the fuck out, questioning just who this man is and how he has a pure heart. During this interaction, she gets a phone call from a man named Granby. He's the king of the Over There, the Mario version of heaven. This phone call is about how Loveby was missing. Hey, that's the girl that Mario passed by earlier. So the queen asks Mario to look for her, while she examines the pure heart. On the way to search for Loveby, Mario finds a scared Luigi. The Mario brothers finally reunite. It took 7 chapters to get here. Oh my god, why? But yeah, after the Mario Bros reunite, they find Loveby and she comes back. She is kind of a bitch though. Like, seriously, wow. Queen Jade gives the Mario brothers the fixed pure heart and lets them know that they didn't actually die. Dementio must have sent them here very much alive instead of immediately killing them. She said that she can bring them back to their world. Mario and Luigi return to Flipside, greeted by Merlin and Tippy, and venture to the next chapter. Except when they enter the door, they're back at the underwear. Something's wrong, I can feel it. Nah, I'm just messing with you. The pure heart is in the over there, so Mario and Luigi must travel through the underwear in order to get to the over there, being asked to escort Loveby by the Queen. They meet up with Bowser, who is rightfully pissed off, starting a boss fight. He was mad because he thought that the Mario Bros just wanted to separate him from Peach, but that wasn't the case. She was lost too. That's when Bowser realized that they needed to shut the fuck up and get moving to the over there. In the over there is where the party finds the Sleeping Beauty. Princess Peach is in a deep sleep because she ate a magical fruit. Since I played this game before, I knew which fruit would wake her up. The black one, by the way. We finally have the full party! Mario, Peach, Bowser, and Luigi, the 4 heroes prophesized in the Dark and Light Prognosticus. The people of the over there have a bit of a problem on their hands too, however. The infestation of Skelebits, with their leader Bone Chill holding Gramby captive. Gramby will allegedly give them the pure heart. Thanks to Luigi being straight up overpowered, Bone Chill turns into just bones, and Gramby is saved. Also, Loveby was the pure heart the whole time, but who cares? She was being a bitch to Mario and Luigi the whole time. Anyway, we gone through a lot, but I hope that you're still strapped in because we aren't done yet. Normally, I would just head straight into the climax, but I simply must go over the Pit of 100 Trials in this review. There is a Pit of 100 Trials in Flipside and Flopside. In the Pit of 100 Trials, you run around in each room, defeating enemies, looking for one enemy that has the key for you to go into the next room. For this review, I just did the Flipside version, so I can show off the final pixel, Dashel. With him, you can run super fast. His chest falls from the air once you defeat Ragtail, a prototype version of Fractail. Alright, that's that. But you do realize that I had to get Dashel before I beat the game. I like going fast. The climax! Yeah, we're almost done. Woohoo! Chapter 8 is Count Bleck's Castle, the final area of the game. The party ventures into Count Bleck's castle, hoping to put a stop to the void destroying the worlds. At the end of each level, one of Count Bleck's underlings come prepared and stand in the gang's path, with each member of the party wanting to 1v1 that specific underling. Bowser fights O'Chunks, Peach fights Mimi, and Luigi fights Dimentio. After fighting, however, the people duking it out get murked. Bowser and O'Chunks are presumed to be crushed, Peach and Mimi fall, but Dimentio had a proposition for the Mario brothers. Before Mario and Luigi could proceed, Dimentio asked them if he could help them defeat Count Bleck, because Count Bleck lied to him. He promised that he would destroy all worlds and create a new one in their place, but the Count just wanted to leave them all in ruin. Dimentio has waited and searched for someone to take him down, and that was the heroes. That's why he sent them to the underwear to get the pure heart fixed, and why he ridded Luigi of his mind control. Being the heroes they are, they refused his offer, causing Dimentio to get pissed and wanting to fight. He wanted to fight Luigi first.
You son of a bitch!
But after Luigi gets to be overpowered, Dimentio blasts himself and Luigi away. It's just Mario now. Mario and Tippy. The final level is full of running around constantly, flipping from 2D to 3D until Mario finally encounters Count Bleck once again to throw down. Are you ready to listen? Because this is important. At the end of each chapter, there is a bit of dialogue shown about a relationship between two people, Tippani and Blumiere. They had a Romeo and Juliet-like dynamic, different people that love each other, but with families who disapproved of it. At the end of this story, the father of Blumiere has sent Tippy away forever, because their people shouldn't be in love with humans. This sends Blumiere into a fit of rage, grabbing the book of dark prophecies called the Dark Prognosticus, the same book that was being used by Count Bleck, and he sought to end all worlds because he believes that life is meaningless without his lost love Tippani. Yes, there is a love story in a Mario game. Blumiere is Count Bleck, and Tippani is Tippy. Tippy used to be a human, until Merlin found her near dead and made her a pixel body. This contributes to the end of the game because Count Bleck doesn't realize that that butterfly is his lost love until it's too late. And the only way to end all this is if Mario defeats him, thus starting the final battle. Count Bleck is invincible at first thanks to the Chaos Heart, but when the 4 heroes unite, yes they didn't die, the Pure Hearts react and break the barrier keeping Bleck safe, and the fight starts to pick up. Once Count Bleck is defeated, Dementio comes out of hiding, and he starts to control the Chaos Heart. Yes, Dementio is the true final boss. He combines Luigi, the Chaos Heart, and himself to create a monster. Luigi was the first person to make physical contact with the Chaos Heart, and that's why he makes for the perfect vessel. Again, the boss is invincible at first until Count Bleck and his underlings have a moment, giving the pure heart strength and allowing the party to defeat Dementio. But the void still exists. The end of the world is still happening, even though the one thing controlling the Chaos Heart is dead. Dementio left a bit of power to the Chaos Heart before the final hit. The only way to stop the Chaos Heart now is to use the pure hearts to banish it. All they need is true love, something that Tippy and Count Bleck have. When they say their final words to each other and confessing their love once again, they use the pure hearts to banish the Chaos Heart, stopping the void and completing the game. They disappear afterwards, but they're still alive out there somewhere. Hey, Dylan here! If you enjoyed my review of Super Paper Mario, then please support my channel by pressing the like button and subscribing, as that helps the channel grow and gives me more of a reason to spend my time making shit like this. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.